What's up everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Edward Lee. I'm a filmmaker and photographer based in Seattle, Washington, and I wanted to do a behind the scenes breakdown of a recent client project that I did. So before I go into the breakdown, let's actually watch the ad that I created for this brand. So hopefully that video was good enough for you to stick around and wanting to learn how I actually pulled it off. This project also consisted of some photo assets, which I'll throw up right here. But essentially we got tons of photos, a good amount of video deliverables, and I want to break down my production framework. So first things first, let's break down the gear that I use. I decided to rent the red Komodo from Borrow Lenses and a few different accessories. I typically shoot on Sony and Canon, but I've been really itching to try out the red Komodo. I didn't have an AC or someone helping me to operate the camera. It was just me. I didn't even have sticks or a gimbal. I didn't need to do any kind of crazy rigging. It was all handheld. I intentionally kept the rig just pretty small. I wanted to see what the red could do, and I wasn't worried about rigging it out too massive. So what I decided was getting the red, a little small rig, half cage. I also added the red outrigger handle, so be able to start and stop recording with the handle, and it also is adjustable, so if I need to adjust the angle of the handle itself to be more comfortable. The monitor that I'm rocking is a small HD Indy 7. I personally love a 7-inch monitor over a 5-inch monitor just because I love having the bigger screen and loading up like a LUT into it just so I can see what the footage might look like. As far as glass goes, I only used a Sigma 1835. This has been a lens I've been rocking on multiple different cameras for a long time. Canon, Blackmagic, and now this red I put it on. The footage looks great as you saw in the ad, and I also paired this lens with a Super Takumar 50mm. It's like an old vintage lens that I bought for my film camera, Canon film camera, a long ways back. But yeah, I just basically juggled between these two lenses, put the 50 on for some tighter shots, but mainly rock with the 1835 all day. That was my gear. It was really small, really compact, and I went from Seattle all the way to California with it in one Pelican case, and it worked out perfectly. The rental process for Borrow Lenses was seamless. I actually, full transparency, never used an online rental house before. I have a local rental house here, but they send you a box with the gear at the date that you decide, and it came very fast. And then essentially you save the box, and when you're done with the rental or the rental period is over, you essentially just put the gear back in the same box that they sent it to you in, stick on the prepaid shipping label, and send out the gear and drop it off at your nearest UPS or FedEx store. It's really seamless, and I probably will start renting more gear from Borrow Lenses, and especially when I need it for longer periods, because I think it's cheaper actually renting it through them instead of going through my local rental house. And I also don't have to drive 30-40 minutes to the rental house that's near me. I could just get it shipped straight to my house, so it's super convenient. Everything was packed nicely, and I would highly recommend it if you're looking for some gear on your next project. I think location is the #1 thing that can make or break your shoot. Nothing is worse than going to a location that's uninspiring, doesn't fit the mood or the vibe, and yeah, it's just not fun. Nobody's having fun because they know the location isn't that great. Now for this shoot in particular, I couldn't really find anything on Peerspace, so I had to go the Airbnb route. So this location was posted as like a villa on Airbnb. I would highly recommend that if you do find an Airbnb that you like, that you want to shoot at, confirm with the host first. They might charge you a little bit, but you'd be surprised. Like this one, they wanted to charge me more at first, but then I was like, hey, this is our hard all-in budget. Can you meet it? And we had a good compromise where it just made sense to be able to shoot here and we don't have to worry about potentially getting kicked out or running into any legal issues because they know we're there for a commercial shoot. This location was perfect though because it had the vibe we were looking for. It had a lot of different elements and textures, shapes, colors. The sunlight in the images looked great, and when we got there a day before, we location scouted and everything looked just like how it did in the pictures. We didn't have the budget to be able to book multiple Airbnbs in one day, so finding one that had multiple backdrops, multiple scenes we could shoot was crucial. So yeah, big ups on this location that we shot at. Now, the next element that I think is crucial when it comes to the production process is crew and working with the right crew members. When I was first starting out early on, I would just do one-man band for everything, and it would just be me. But as the budgets grew, as the client's demands increased, I needed to get more people involved. Now, obviously, this means less money, but I'm telling you, when you work with a good crew and more people, you're way less stressed, and you honestly end up with way better quality work. Now, for photographer, I had my friend S. Lee help. Esther is freaking talented. She has a lot of experience in kind of the high-end fashion / editorial type of photography, and I do photos as well, but like I said, this comes down to, did I really want to do photos and videos in the same day? I've done it before, but I also wanted to have better quality work and be less stressed. So working with S was huge. She also helped me source some of the models, and just having someone to bounce ideas off of is huge. Now, as far as gaffing goes and a little bit of grip help, I had my friend Brady Bassett. You guys have seen Brady on the channel before. He's also a fellow YouTuber. He's kind of a beast DP. He does a lot. He does gaffing. He's just really talented as a creative, and I love working with him on set. It's not the first time we worked on set together, but having him there just gives that peace of mind when it comes to lighting and rigging up things to shape and cut light. It's really valuable to have someone on set who understands lighting, who can help out with that, because you're so focused on trying to get the shot with the talent and with the location, and lighting is just another layer that you don't have to worry about if you have someone helping out gaffing and whatnot. Now, I also had a BTS videographer, which is Chase. Really stoked that we had Chase on set. He also does a lot of DP and editing work. He's really talented, but he came out, shot on the red Gemini for BTS video. All this footage you're seeing was shot by Chase, and he's just a rad dude to have on set. So thank you, Chase, for coming out. And also, last but not least, we had a BTS photographer / PA, Jeannie. Jeannie is also a really talented photographer as well, but a really great PA. She helped out on set with styling, with setting up outfits with Esther, and all these things. And having her on set just made everything so much easier. A PA, production assistant, is not something I feel like that should be taken lightly, because it's a very crucial role on set. Everyone is so defined in their roles. Having an assistant on set that can kind of be more fluid and help you with things as they come up. Not to mention, she also did BTS photography, and so she wore a lot of hats and she crushed it. And I love having Jeannie on set. These are all people that I've worked with before, and being able to work with them all together in Joshua Tree was truly a fun experience. Now, the next element for this shoot that was crucial was talent. Now, in the production process, finding models and talent is very, very important. When the budgets are bigger and when you really need someone who understands modeling and understands how to move with product, etc., going through a modeling agency is worth it, because you just get higher quality models, not necessarily looks wise. Of course, you can always work with a good looking person, but that's not really why you want to work with professional model. Professional model understands how to move, how to look. They take direction very well. You don't really need to provide that much direction, because you just give them a prompt and they know how to continue moving so that you can get the shot. We use a website called Newbook to find models. It's kind of like Peerspace, or like a peer-to-peer website where you can message models directly and have full visibility on their rates and their looks. And we found two really amazing models, Mo and Alexandra. They really had a good look that I think matched the vibe of the overall objective really well. And so I just want to emphasize again, do not neglect talent or finding good models for your shoot. Models, in my opinion, can make or break your shoots. If you don't have talent that fits the look you're going for, or the talent themselves just don't understand how to move around on set or how to, take direction well, it can really ruin the whole shoot. So definitely take time to find the right models when it comes to video production. Now, when it comes to shot lists, this was a one-day shoot. We did not have multiple days to pull this off. We had one location, one day. That's what the budget allows. So it's very crucial to be efficient when you only have one day. So how we did that was I would usually work with one model, and then Esther would go work with another model separately, so that she can get her photos, I can get my video clips. And then when we did need to merge the two models together for a few of those shots that you guys saw, we would just shoot side by side and take turns, and it worked out really nicely. Meanwhile, every time we need to switch locations around the villa, we would have Brady go scope out the location. We would explain and also collaborate on what the lighting should look like in that specific spot. And Brady would be setting up the grip equipment or all the lighting equipment to pull off that scene while we're still shooting the last scene. So that way, when we arrive to the next part, it's already set up. Setting up gear and tearing down gear is one of the most time-consuming things on set. So if you can actually be more efficient on that front, you will save a lot of time and you won't have to drag out the shoot as long. One thing that I always do is when I have a scene or a shot that I want to get, I always shoot a tight shot of that and then a wide shot of it. So that way I can always, crop in from the wide shot if I need to get a mid one. But if I have a tight shot of everything and a wide shot of everything, it's a good variation in between the two. Now, another thing I add in there is texture shots or cutaways. So I'll do things like where I'm just doing a quick little pan, or I'm trying to get a quick movement, or I'll get rocks or elements like water or the pool, reflections. I kind of got that as well. Getting those kind of small elements or pieces were worked into the video as good cutaways, and being able to have a mix of wide, tight, and cutaways is a really good foundation for setting up an ad that I think looks great. Now, another one layer deeper than that is just getting different types of camera angles. So low angles, getting high angles, getting, eye level. One mistake that I made when I was first starting out with filmmaking is I would shoot everything at eye level. So the whole video felt very, monotone, I guess you could say. The whole video felt very bland because everything was at eye level. So being able to switch the angle at which you shoot can also add a lot more, dimension into your video. And the more layers and variation that you can add to your video, in my opinion, is what makes it a lot easier to make it look good. A video looks bad when it just looks like a compilation of clips that all look the same, that were shot, and you slap a music track on. So being able to switch up all the shots and make it feel different, each shot feels unique, is how you get a video, the pleasing image or the pleasing result. So obviously when the shoot is done, we dump and back up all the footage, and then we go into post over the next couple of weeks, or post-production, editing. And so for me personally, the first thing that I did was finding the right music. The right song. This is something I sometimes do before I even shoot the project as well, so I can have the song in mind and I can shoot with the song in mind, but I wasn't able to do that for this project, so I found the song after and I used the MUSICBED. This video is not sponsored by MUSICBED, but I do work with them quite often and I love their music, and this song in particular was just perfect for what I was looking for. It has the build up, it has the uplifting aspect, but it's kind of serious at the same time. And so this song was great. I'll link it down below if you want to check out the song itself, or if you are interested in checking out MUSICBED, I'll link it down below. But yeah, I find the music and then I cut the footage. So the first thing I do in post is pull all my selects. So I will go through all the footage, like every single clip, I'll go through it and I will basically extract the part that I think is usable or potentially usable, and I'll throw that into a timeline called selects. And those are all my footage that I want to pull from for the final piece. Then I'll find a song, put the song in a sequence, and then I'll start piecing together what I feel like would be the final video or my first rough cut. The foundation, before you add all the snazzy stuff, needs to look good too. Like just clean cuts in a song. If the video is already good with clean cuts in a song, you're off to a great start. What I see a lot of people do is the video will be kind of mid, like the footage isn't that great, song choice isn't that great, but they'll try to make it snazzy with like a ton of cutaways and a ton of, unique transitions and a lot of flares and stuff, and you try to make it nice that way. But I feel like a good video should always, have that as a bonus, and that shouldn't be what makes the video, all the effects and whatnot. And so that's kind of the approach that I took. As you can see in this video itself, even there isn't that many, crazy transitions or cutaways. It's pretty, one track, it's just B-roll and a good song, good pacing, good cuts. And that's kind of how I came across this clean edit. Obviously, I could have taken it a little bit more, to the next level and added way more transitions and effects, but then it would have taken away from, I think, what the objective of the shoot was, which is creating this lookbook style video that was clean, that highlighted the product in a very, fashionable way. I used to be so overwhelmed by the whole production process, and hopefully if you're feeling that way, this video will help you feel less overwhelmed. And if there's anything you take away from this video, there's really 3 things I would love to leave with you. And the first is work with the right people. Early on, I felt like I was very lonely. I didn't work with that many people. And of course, it just took a lot of time to be able to work with the right brands and the right people, but it really helped me a lot because I'm not the best at everything. And being able to work with people who are better than me, more talented than me, really help with getting the right quality work and being able to increase your network to be able to land the type of client work that you want to. Now, the second thing is to put out high quality work. Your current project should always be better than your last project. You should never have your work just be stagnant where every piece of work feels the same. You should always be trying to push the needle a little forward each time, whether that's with camera angles, camera equipment, lighting tactics. You should always be trying to increase the quality of your videos or your content every single time, because your 100th video should be 100 times better than your first video. If you always try to just kind of rinse and repeat the same process, it'll become very stagnant and you won't really grow. You won't increase your work quality. And last but not least, be confident in your vision. Confidence is huge. I personally don't have a huge portfolio in fashion or editorial content, but with this project in particular, the look I was trying to pull off actually didn't really even exist in my portfolio, but I was confident in the work that I've done in the past. I was confident in my crew members and the people I decided to work with on this project. And just understand that if you're confident in the people you're working with and your vision and in just the amount of work you've put in to get to where you are, you'll be able to pull off the shoots that you never thought you could have. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will try to get back to them to the best of my ability. I know it's a little different than what you might be used to seeing on this channel, but yeah, hopefully it was still a good one to watch. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.